Lickety, lickety thick.
New Lickety Thick Log Cabin Light with 1/3 less sugar.
Oh, Mr. Morgan. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was so looking at my work here and I didn't see you.
It's okay.
So sorry.
It's all right. You know, I just had a sudden moment of deja vu.
Deja vu.
This is how we met the first time, remember? Oh. You were so upset about some missing kid or something, you just ran right over me.
And here I did it again. How can I make it up to you?
Oh, there's nothing to make up. But you can congratulate me. I'm a free man. It's my new address.
Are you making sure that I don't renege on my promise to cook you dinner?
No, I have to scratch the dinner, for the moment anyway. There's not even a spoon in the place.
Oh, but I'm sure by the time you move in, everything will be in order.
I'm moving in today.
Today? I didn't know. What are you going to do?
Well, I can always order in.
Yeah, but that's no way to live.
It'll be all right for a while. Well, it certainly was a lot easier back on Colum Bay, where I had a whole staff of people looking after me.
Is there anything I can do to help?
You really offering?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, well, you could give me some pointers. Like, what kind of stuff am I going to need? You know, where to hang the paintings?
I'd be very happy to.
Well, that's great. Listen, why don't you come with me right now? I'll throw in a bottle of wine and a pizza if you bring in the corkscrew and the paper plates. We can make an evening of it.
Well, I don't know.
Have I overstepped my boundaries?
Oh, no. No, it's nothing like that. It's just that...
It's just that you are an engaged lady and you're soon to be married to Senator Mark Denning, and you know, I offer you an invitation to a bachelor apartment. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, please don't be. It's nothing like that at all, really.
Of course it is. If a good senator knew about my invitation, he wouldn't approve. And if I were in his place, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't either.
Mrs. Denning, Mr. Morgan has permission to leave the hospital from time to time. I'm sure he's just stepped down to Mario's for an early dinner.
Oh, of course. How silly of me to be concerned. But, tell me, Thomas, isn't it a little odd for Mr. Morgan to take a suitcase with him to Mario's?
What? Yes, this is Dr. McCandless. I want to check a discharge. Right, look at Wendy, check with the nurse on duty, okay? Yes, Dr. McCandless. Listen, could you tell me if one of my patients, Jarrett Morgan, signed out today? Okay, you want to call me back, Stat, on that? Thank you. Oh, and Wendy,
yes.
After you find out what happened, would you also try and find out why I wasn't informed about this?
I'll be getting right on it.
Thank you.
Oh, good heavens, I didn't mean to cause such an uproar. Is Mr. Morgan really very ill? If he is, he certainly
Look,
doesn't seem to
Mrs.
be...
Denning, I don't make it a habit of discussing my patients with other patients, okay? So if you'll excuse me.
Oh, of course. Perhaps Mr. Morgan just decided it was time to leave. I do know how terribly bored he was.
Look, Mrs. Denning, I don't care how bored my patients are. They do not check themselves out.
Oh, dear, now I've done it. I have really upset you, and, oh, please believe me, that was the furthest thing from my mind. I just know how much Mr. Morgan means to you and to your mother. As a patient, of course.
Mrs. Denning.
Oh, everybody in the hospital is talking about how much Clarissa has helped Mr. Morgan in his therapy. I just think it's wonderful they've become so close.
Mrs. Denning, look, if there's a point you're trying to make in all this, please make it.
Oh, no, there's no real point. I'm just thinking out loud. I suppose it's only natural for patients to become very attached to the hospital staff.
Mrs. Denning, do you always go around stirring up trouble just to keep in practice?
I'm doing no such thing.
Yes, you are.
Well, that's gratitude for you. I was just trying to do you a favor. I just thought you'd want to know that your prized patient was leaving.
And you also thought you might pick up a little gossip, preferably about my mother and Mr. Morgan.
Well, you're twisting everything I said. I was just trying to pay you a compliment and your mother for your work with Mr. Morgan.
Bull. Mrs. Denning, you hate my mother. You've always hated my mother, and you probably always will hate
That
my
is
mother.
not true. That was before. That was when I was not myself because of the tumor.
Yes.
No, only today I saw Clarissa, and I told her how much I wished her well and that we could just put the past behind us.
Yes, which is why you're running around the hospital now trying to spread stories about her and Mr. Morgan.
I am not. Why would I want to do that?
You tell me. Maybe it's some sort of last-ditch effort to come between her and Mark? Mrs. Denning, you can forget it. You're barking up the wrong tree. There is nothing going on between my mother and Mr. Morgan.
What won't work?
This wild, romantic gesture of yours. Oh, yeah, right now you think that you'll marry Kelly and you'll live happily ever after, Trey, but that is not the reality, and eventually you're going to have to face the truth.
Which is?
Trey, you are a political animal. You aren't going to give up your career, your future, everything you've worked your entire life to achieve. You aren't going to be able to do it, Trey, and even if you could, do you think your father would allow it?
This is my decision, son. My father won't be able to stop me. Besides, I'm not so sure I have to give up my career.
Think you can run for the Senate with Kelly Harper on your arm? I don't think so. Trey, I know you better than anyone else knows you, and you want it all. Nothing less will satisfy you, and you can't have it all with her.
I didn't come here to discuss my political career. And don't make it any harder than it already is.
Oh, God forbid.
Obviously, we couldn't go on the way we were. And I had to make a decision. And I did.
So, you're giving it all up for true love, is that it?
I am doing what I'm doing for love, yes.
And you are a damn fool.
You know what Louis Rich did? They took turkey and made it into bologna. Bologna that tastes like bologna.